good parts I can save that otherwise this car was going to the crusher. I picked it up for $200, and I've got about 4 days before the Ohio Festiva thing, so I'm gonna pull off stuff like the mirrors and a few other small stuff to sell. But I'll get more video of this thing when I get home. But I figured it was worth just trying to get a few shots of the car before it basically goes to its final little journey home, well, to the grave, really. Anyways, my friend's in the back just following along. It's gonna be a long, half-hour home. I've got a friend who is going to want the interior pieces that are good on this for the seats and the panels and all that. I might take the headliner for my own car because it's pretty nice, and these little map pockets for the visors. The dash, I might give that to a friend of mine who needs the same windshield and all the glass because he lives in a crappy area and they knocked all of his glass out when you have to park it outside. So I've got a home for a lot of the harder to get parts from this car, and I figured this was just the best way to send it off. Oh, so it's still taking forever. Oh yeah, at least the gas gauge works. Final few miles. Final few miles of this car. Oh, someone screwed with the horn. It doesn't sound right. Yeah, it sucks. Nah, I won't forget. But we made it.
Yeah.
It
took about an hour and 20 minutes
for a 40-minute drive.
Yeah. So about twice.
Well, it was
twice as much.
I could get up to 36, and that was about it.
And these people. Well, our worst traffic was this road.
Yeah.
1350 was our worst.
Yeah, it was busier than the main road. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
But for the most part, all the glass is spoken for, and the car survived. I mean, it's dead, but it survived.
Put this in your thing, because you don't want to forget that, or he'd be in big trouble.
No, because we'll have a way to get to work tomorrow.
I think the keys are in there.
Yep, they are. I'm just going to throw them in the Festiva after I get done putting the brake pads on this side, and
You're going to drive that there?
why, of course.
You're going to leave pretty much now.
No, just in a few minutes. After I get basically everything out of your car and unload out of that thing, I'll finish putting the Festiva together because I got all afternoon to get the battery and a few other things back to them.
It was almost over, my friend.
Alright, not to forget, I still have about 4 days before my trip. Still trying to get the car together, so everything on that side of the car I just got done with, of the brake pads and tightening the CV nut to 45 pounds of torque and dinking it in to where it won't come apart, and the wheel back on. So everything's loaded up on it. I'm gonna run back to my friend who's about 40 minutes away and drop off the battery he'd let me borrow to get that hunk of rot box back home, and a few other things to give him since he's moving. So yeah, cut to me driving.
I have some pictures.
That's just really cool to see. I might have to try that with my car, because I never thought of putting...
You want to see how I did it? It'll make you mad. It's so stupid.
Yeah, sure. I ended up doing some wiring to do dash lights on my own, or my friend's Corolla years ago.
I went to GameStop and they had computer LED light strips that are USB powered on sale, and my stereo here has a USB connector.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to see, but if you lean in there, you can see the USB plugged into my stereo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just ran the USB underneath, and then there's a cubby behind the stereo underneath, and I just taped them up. I mean, they had adhesive on it, but I put a little bit of extra tape. It's a little bit ghetto. I shit you not. I spent $6 with taxes for this mod. $6 with taxes for this mod, okay? But later I'm gonna put nicer lights, and I want to put underglow.
That's so cool. All right. I don't know if my phone is going to record or that weird little speaker thing, but here is the lowdown on the situation. This car, $200, very crusty, and well, you've seen the other clips I've probably clipped into this already. So this is where we're at. This hood's junk, so it gets to be scribbled on. That is basically what I've sold so far. I haven't factored in the cost of shipping a few things, but I've got a friend who's buying the speedometer cable out of this. I've got someone who's wanting to buy the rear bumper off of this. And I'm currently pulling, and this is part of what I wanted to do for history and stuff. You had Festivas around from 88 to around 91 to 92, you could get tan interiors in. And you had Festiva GL Sports, or you had Festiva GLs, which apparently during the whole time frame up to 92, you could get tan interiors with red striping or just tan or just a blue striping. So it's a bit of a weird little thing that this car was optioned with. Wasn't GL Sport cloth pattern inside of this like I was questioning earlier, because you barely ever see them. But there isn't really any tears on the vinyl parts of the seat, and just the overall everything could clean up really well with the interior. Even the carpet might be savable. The goal is to just strip this thing as much as I can to where I can pick it up with a few friends and set it on a snowmobile trailer if I have to, unless the junkyard actually picks it up, which I called and I was getting a unsure, like, yeah, we can do that. So trying to pull the glove box. I'm going to save the speakers out of this and a few other things like the visors and the mirror for my own car, and just kind of wanted to show like where we're at with cost wise and just where we're at with just stripping other things out. Took the rear tail lights off, sold those for $70 as what showed on the hood, and dumped the wire that was all in them in the bottom rusty little thing, because where else my door is shut. So yeah, just wanted a quick little update of where we're at with stripping the car down. Later. Pulled the speedometer cable and a few other little parts up here that people wanted to buy. So speedometer cable should get around 15 bucks for just helping a friend out who wants to pay me, and another 5 bucks for the little cap for the overflow tank. So yeah, that's about it, other than a funny little thing. I think they lied. I don't know. There's something about it that just makes me think maybe they're lying about rust proof. I'm not really sure.